I'm just wondering when you're actually going to start your video. Most people pre-plan this sort of thing, CC. No, honestly, they do. You should try it. Please subscribe.
You know, I figured I'd cozy up to a nice 80s song. You know, when I grew up, there was no MTV. You know, you just heard the musician. And there was no video at all or anything like that. I mean, I'm going to date myself, but it didn't really come out until like 80, I think it was 82 or 83, where they were actually starting to publish videos, and the musicians were publishing videos. And when you see the musicians finally publishing videos and you find out how fake they are and how much bullshit that they've been through, because all of them have heartache stories, you know. Every single musician, every single actor has come up with some stupid story that's made up, and it's all bullshit. Oh, I grew up here, I grew up there, I had 5 brothers who used to beat me, this one hurt me. I mean, it's all fabricated nonsense with the backgrounds of all of these famous people.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
Insane it is. And you're probably sitting there wondering, what the hell has this got to do with flat Earth? Well, me too.
It's all bullshit.
Well, yeah, we know that, but we still don't know if it's got anything to do with flat Earth. But I wonder if anybody told Michael Jackson or Oprah Winfrey or Tina Turner, who suffered sexual abuse and thoughts of suicide during her 16-year marriage to her ex-husband Ike. Not only did she face physical and mental abuse, but she was plagued with illness and miraculously survived a stroke and cancer. But if a guy ranting like a madman in his car because his wife makes fun of him when he records at home says it's fake, then shame on you, Tina Turner, you saucy old minx.
You know, there's not one single regular person I know. You know, maybe Robin Williams, who's dead, obviously, and I think maybe he came from a middle-class family, and it was a regular, you know, I don't even know how the f*** to get into this shit. It doesn't make it...
Wondering why I'm showing you this video? Well, allow me to explain. CC is so entrenched in the flat Earth and many other conspiracy theories that getting out again is a slog that he can only do for himself. And when you question something as well known to be a fact as the shape of the Earth, then your entire belief system must revolve around everything else being a lie, which obviously is perpetuated by the government or NASA or anyone else in authority. And sadly for people like CC, that lie then spirals to the point where they don't know reality from a pimple on their ass. And of course, if they're lying to you about the shape of the Earth, then they must be lying about everything else as well, which is what CC seems to think. As well as anyone who holds any position of authority, they're all evil liars as well. But it goes even further than that. All these pesky celebrities, you know, the rich, famous, successful ones, they're in on it as well. Which is why, according to CC and many other conspiracy theorists, they make up stories about where they're from and what they've been through. And seeing as we're talking about things which are completely irrelevant to flat Earth, allow me to just say this. That was not a cat in the background of my last video. It was my big tough guy dog, whose name is Coco. I don't own a cat. Would you think I'm some sort of weirdo? No, don't answer that. But it's a dog. Anyway, on with the video.
You know, look, these... Keep your kids at a public school. All right? So, just keep them out of public schools. I didn't go to a public school.
Or if you did, you didn't pay much attention.
Whether they're liberals, Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't make a difference who these people are, but they're pumping these children information in their heads that are confusing them, and they don't know who they are.
But people like you that upload content to YouTube telling people and young people that the Earth isn't a globe isn't confusing anyone at all. Now, the only reason you think the teachers are also now evil is because they refuse to teach, mainly because they're not complete morons, but they refuse to teach anything that you believe, so that makes them evil.
You know, I mean, forget about the face masks, which is going to be lifted shortly here in New York, but It's just that it's gotten so bad now. I didn't even realize with that video, you know, how bad it was back in the 80s. I mean, you know, really.
Now, at this point in the video, I do feel that it would be remiss of me not to offer you some comforting words. Don't worry, you haven't got a brain tumor. You're not going insane. CC is actually making even less sense than he usually does.
Look, I can care less about your gender. I can care less about that. Just don't feed it to my children.
Yeah, teachers, tell my kids that the earth is flat. Create the next generation of crayon-munching window lickers. But definitely don't teach them to be accepting to other people.
Okay? All right? Do whatever the you want. I could care less. And why the fuck are you wearing a face mask out? Oh.
Nice job at not caring less, CC.
Fuck it. I don't care. Anyway, how you doing? Everything's good? Yeah, well, everything's great on this side, on this end. I can tell you what I'm doing, but I don't want to brag about it.
Good.
Buying a membership at a country club.
I thought you didn't want to brag. But look at you, CC. Ooh, country club, eh?
That I've been saving up all year for. Hard-working money. And that's what's in here. And that's going to pay for a year membership at this particular country club. Because I earn my money.
But you want a medal. Most people earn their money. Apart from bank robbers, they usually steal it.
I'm in so deep right now. Beyond any rabbit hole you could possibly imagine.
I know, and that's clear for all to see, and I find it sad. Because most of these outlandish beliefs rest on a solid foundation of disbelief. Because when somebody like CC has dismissed the obvious facts, like the shape of the earth, repeating them to him will not persuade him to see sense. But when people are given time and space to explain things for themselves, they may start to spot gaps in their own knowledge. I can't do it with a straight face. What a load of old shit. I'm sorry, but I think as long as we have the internet and people who think the same way as Jay Leno Jr. here, then we're all royally fun. And besides that, what would I do if there were suddenly no idiots to laugh at?
And I think, the people really have a big problem.
Oh, so it's not you then, the man that thinks the earth is flat and that space is fake. It's everyone else that's got the problem.
Saying goodbye to their younger self. Have you changed since you become a flat earther? And how you were before a flat earther? And how inconsiderate you were and obnoxious.
Being inconsiderate really has nothing to do with what shape you think the earth is. But obnoxious? Have you not watched Nathan Oakley or Nathan Thompson or Daniel Pratt or Eric Dubé? You're taking the piss.
And then you realize that the earth is flat, that
you're all morons? Yeah, we know. The reason we know Earth is a globe is because there are tens of thousands of ways to prove that it is, not to mention the thousands of photographs which we have taken from space. You know, that place you think is fake? So nobody should realize anything. There's the flaw in your logic right away. So if you've only realized that the Earth is flat, it means that you've done absolutely nothing at all apart from make these ridiculous videos to try and prove that it is. None of you have, mainly because it isn't and you can't, but you get my meaning.
people have a tough time saying goodbye to that other self. And that's why I think there's so many people that are out there that just hate flat earthers, because they just can't make that transition into flat earth and saying goodbye to their old self.
Yeah, but that's because the average man on the street or woman doesn't want to be publicly ridiculed or made fun of on the internet in this case. And I definitely don't hate flat earthers. I'd even go as far as to say I love them, because without flat earthers, I wouldn't be here now. On YouTube, I mean, not I would have still been bored. Don't get overcomplicated.
Because, you know, that's who you were. And this is who you are now. You'll see a major, major change with not only respect for others. And why the fuck are you wearing a face mask out? Oh, I mean, you look at these buildings that were built 700 years ago. Here.
What are we laughing at, CC? They've been building buildings for a long time.
Here in America, we were sitting there 100 years, 200 years ago with a light that was in a candle inside of a room.
And technology exists. So what?
Meanwhile, we could build all these reservoir systems that are so complicated you couldn't even figure it out right now. I've already tried to go in and find out about this, and they won't even let me in there. I have a DEP license, and they won't even let me in there, which is great.
Now, unlike flat earthers, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong or when I don't understand something. But you're talking about a reservoir system, and I think what you mean is the sewer system. Because a reservoir is a lake, a man-made lake. And I'm just getting so confused. But maybe that's why the DEP won't let you in, even with your DEP license. Yeah, I know what it is. The Department of the Environment. Huh, I couldn't be bothered to look it up. I'm just guessing the first 2 letters. But maybe that's why they won't let you in, CC. Another 2 letters.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't even investigate anything. You can't investigate anything at all.
And as promised, I am happy to admit that I was just wrong. Whether I did it on purpose for comedic effect is for you to decide. But apparently New York does have a reservoir system, which is about 125 miles upstate, which delivers fresh, clean water to over 9 million houses daily. Yeah.
And why the fuck are you wearing a face mask out? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry about that. How's the face? Good? Nice. Stinks. But it's good for you. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's very, you gotta put that cloth on. It doesn't really make a difference. N95, I95. Fuck it is. Jesus.
Usually when you're watching something on the television or a YouTube video and you see somebody laughing, it usually makes you smile at least, or makes you want to join in and laugh. Why is it that when CC does that, it has the exact opposite effect on me, and probably you as well? As usual, CC, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, because you're stupid. And talking about stupid people, Kent Hoving mentioned me on his channel last night. Oh, I'm so lucky. He actually thinks that my channel is growing because I'm making videos about him. And I'm sure he wants me to respond. So like every other fully grown, adult, grown-up man, child person, I'm not going to now, because I know he wants me to. Suck it, Kent. But thanks very much indeed for all your help with my channel. I couldn't have done it without you. Or at least that's what you think. But one thing that wouldn't have happened without you is I would never have said I'd rather shit in my hands and clap, and created these lovely t-shirts and mugs, which are selling really well. So thanks for that as well, Kent. And if you do want to grab one, I've only put 100 of these in the merch store. So if you want one, grab one quickly, because they are actually selling really fast, which has shocked me because merch isn't usually something that works well for me. But anyway, thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.
That's all, folks.
All right, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe by order of the Creaky Blinder.